Hello and welcome to Muse and Metrics. This is your host, Philippa Burgess, here with another episode and our guest. I will turn it over to you now.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm Sobhitha Neelanath, and I'm from Bangalore. I'm also a Women Techmakers Ambassador. Very happy to be in the show. I'm basically an electronics and communication graduate in engineering, and from campus, I joined the IT crowd. I joined a company called Wipro Technologies, and that's how my career started. I now almost 2 decades in the industry. And currently, I'm with Dell. I'm a senior engineering manager, and I lead a cloud solutions team here. So I've tried my hands at many things, different domains, virtualization, networks, security, storage, servers, and now cloud. I'm, currently leading a subscription and as a service platform team. So, kind of been there, done that, I would say. Still learning, still trying to do a lot of new things. I enjoy exploring new things and learning. That's about me on the professional side. On the personal side, I love to read and I'm into music. I'm vocally trained and I also play a ukulele. And yeah, I love to jot some poetry when I have some time. I recently published my book also, a collection of poems called Soulful Sojourn. So that's pretty much about me, Philippa.
I love that. There's many things to talk about there. I'm going to uh, pick up professionally. Let's start there uh, with cloud because I am part of the Women Tech Makers program in North America, and
Hmm.
they're bringing us opportunities to grow in cloud. So I've just become a cloud digital leader, and now I'm in the professional cloud architect training. And so I am finding cloud quite interesting. And I've also got kind of pathways into Microsoft and AWS. And I'm studying cybersecurity. So kind of very interested in sort of the intersection of cybersecurity and cloud. And then just getting those very first certificates in my certified in cybersecurity and my cloud digital leader. I found that 30% of each exam had 30% of the security exam had cloud, 30% of the cloud exam had security. So there's a lot of crossover in that. So I think your background's amazing. And what do you have advice for us, those of us who maybe not have such that deep technical IT, but are still coming into cloud? I know that's a sort of a broad question, but uh,
Uh, Yeah, so I guess specifically since we are Google Women Tech Maker ambassadors, there are a lot of opportunities out there with the Google cybersecurity and cloud related courses, right? And trying our hands with some hands-on with GCP and all those options are there. So those options are not available for everyone, right? So we should actually make use of that option to the maximum is what I would suggest. So when my journey into cloud also happened similarly. I'd been looking forward to enter and work in a cloud setup, but then it was not happening, and I was into something else. And then I took some certifications, a cloud related certification, and I also did a specific course from MIT. Their executive program, which was a postgraduate certificate course in technology and innovation, which covered a lot of cloud, AI, quantum computing, etc. So my takeaway from from my journey so far is that the learning never ends, and whatever you really want to explore and get into, as long as we try to learn about that and probably have some demonstrable skills, right? Try our hands and say, okay, yeah, we are trying this. So I also tried a lot of chaos engineering, gremlin kind of tools. So all those gave me a very good exposure into how cloud can be, or what can the different scenarios in cloud. And coming to cybersecurity, so I guess cloud and cybersecurity is like without security, obviously. Cloud means it's like you have public and hybrid clouds where your data is being managed by someone else. So that makes security even more important. So cloud and secure cybersecurity, I don't think without good security practices in place, a cloud environment can really scale up or deliver well, because the privacy of the data and the security concerns of the customers really should be taken care of. So that way, I guess both really go hand in hand, and one cannot kind of exist without each other.
yeah, I see that. And I'm enjoying that because sometimes I feel like my interests And I think even you're saying this in how sometimes we go in all these different directions, and like you were talking about, even like personally, there's voice, and there's playing music, and then there's writing poetry, and then there's publishing books, and yet sometimes you actually find there's moments where they all sort of feel that they come together. They
Yes. Yes.
and that's what I love about this technical journey that I'm on, because again, I study geospatial and cybersecurity and AIML, which lives on cloud, and then sometimes I feel like, wow, I'm going all these different directions, and then I get these opportunities that are all of those things, and I'm like, yes, that's perfect. That's exactly what I'm interested in. I mean, even having a podcast was something that I was like, oh, that's another direction, and then here we are. It all comes together. So I love that we can have these diverse interests, and yet they all sort of come to this point where it's like, oh, I am the perfect person for that project or
Yeah, I
that
guess
inspiration.
having your creative side, sparking that creativity within you really helps, because your creative side is what helps you think a little bit different, think out of the box, and which is very very necessary in the current world, right? There are a lot of new technology coming in. So previously, if you look at it, technology used to be like one technology used to stay at least 3 to 5 years, and now it's not even months, I would say. The advent of technology is so much. And if you take AI and security, it is not just about IT or the technology industry. You take healthcare, you take anything, any other industry, right? Finance, healthcare, everywhere the security and the data privacy is really important. So it's not just technology anymore, or rather technology has spread its hands to everywhere, almost everything that we do. So it's kind of an integral part of our lives now. So and I it becomes more and more important that we are aware and we try to learn more. It's no more different, how storytelling is being used in leadership, and how you communicate with people, how you convey your ideas, and how you can connect with people through storytelling is really very powerful, right? I mean, I don't think a leader can say that, yo, I'm not a great storyteller, or that's not my cup of tea, and then just stay away from it, right? So one way or the other, we all get into all these aspects, your creativity, your storytelling, and probably how to blend that into your technology. That makes a lot of difference, and that makes it more human, more relatable to people. And that's where you build those connects, those bonds, and that's how I guess we can take technology to the next level, by having those relations and those connections with fellow your colleagues or your co-workers or your friends maybe, right? And like you take art or music, there are a lot of softwares now which you don't even need instruments. You can create the sounds that instruments make. So I mean, you really don't need to. And the electronic keypads that are there, or the digital art software that we have, a lot of it, right? So I guess there wouldn't be many people who have not tried out the latest AI softwares, wherein it shows you how you may look when you get old, right? So I mean it's like interesting, is amusing also. At the same time, I guess technology is really going to common man. It's not just about the techies using technology. It's now available to everybody in a very usable fashion. So I guess any product or any solution that we do from a technology perspective, very very important that it is accessible and usable by everyone, irrespective of their technology background or their technology awareness, right? As long as we can reach common man and relate to them, and they can easily use their experience is great with the product, and that is how a product can succeed. That's what my learning has been.
And that goes to our SaaS, which is the software for service, the stuff that's ready made turnkey for the end user, and they can just get into it. I was just thinking of the patterns. A lot of people who like music also like to code, because it's a similar sort of patterns of reading music. And those who like I was thinking of the coding, foreign languages. So you speak obviously multiple languages, that
Yes.
learning languages and learning code, or learning languages and learning music, like all of these things kind of have similar, that idea that there's patterns to it. And that
Yes,
if
yes.
you're
I
a
mean,
person who likes
I've
patterns, there's so many different applications for that, and they're very fluid, and the ability to cross over from one to another. And I just want to sort of ask a question, because I haven't read your book. I don't know the poems that you've written, but if I can ask you some storytelling questions related to the book, the poem, and music, because I think of when I think of storytelling, it's the basic of hope versus fear. And the idea of music is tension versus the release of tension.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Yep. So the poems that I've written, most of them are, I relate to what I see or what I experience, or probably people who are close to me. So I've written about them. So I had this habit of back in school when we had the farewells. I had this habit of jotting, like, small, short, 4 lines of poems for all my friends when we were having a farewell. We were going out of school, or to study other things, and later on to college. So at that time was not very, I mean, that was just a hobby, and it was nothing more than that. I never thought about it so much. But when I came to college, I published one in my college magazine, and that was left there. I guess then work caught on, and my family came in. I have a son who's 13-year-old. So once my son came in, all the dynamics changed. And now what I see, the difference is that my son has grown up and he's independent. He's on his own. I don't need to spend time for each and everything of his. So I know all, it's just the quality time that we spend, over dinner, over some conversations, that's all. So, and I don't need to like do the things for him. So I have that time which was like, probably so devoted to him earlier, and now I'm using that, for my me time, for whatever I like to do, be that playing my instrument, be that writing some poems sometimes. So that's how it goes. And I've been a person who has been always fascinated by, as you told, just patterns and puzzles. So I had this, even now if you take me, I guess LinkedIn has of late introduced some puzzles. Every day there's a new puzzle. It's called Queens Cross Climb, and also I love doing it. And what I feel is that it's really, again, pushes you to think different, pushes you to break out of your pattern, right? So because when you're totally focused on work, you're only thinking about something. Sometimes your vision is like a tunnel vision. You think only in one direction, and then you want to break out of it. You go and do some, either play the instrument, or read something, or play some puzzles. It's like totally a break from the routine. And once you come back, you're so refreshed, and your thoughts are also, your thought patterns also change. I guess that's very powerful, which I've experienced. Really helps a lot. It is a great stress buster, as well as breaking out of that pattern is also like the power that brings in. So that has really helped me in my work also. So I've always seen that whenever I'm like, I run out of ideas and I think that, okay, I need to do something different, then I go and do something, break out of the pattern, and come back. Then I'm probably, yeah, yes, probably I get some more ideas or some more different things to think about, at least. So yeah, that has been really, really working well for me. Okay, so going back to that story, so there are a lot of women in tech community, especially the lean in networks, etc. in Bangalore. Bangalore being an IT and a tech hub, there have been quite a good number of such communities. So I guess probably pre-COVID, maybe in 2018 or so. Since then, I've been a part of some of these communities, but I've just been there, probably going for a couple of events, attending or joining them and listening to people interacting. It was nice. I really liked that experience, but never thought beyond that. It was during COVID that I had this. Probably a thought that came in, that there are so many free sessions, very learning kind of sessions, both tech and non-tech, be it leadership skills and everything, that I've been attending, so many sessions that I've been attending. So I started asking myself, what am I doing, what am I giving back, what am I contributing? So right now I'm only taking, I'm not giving yet. So how can I start giving? So that's when I started thinking, and I talked to a couple of my mentors and coaches who have been really helpful to me, and they suggested that probably I should be more involved. That will bring me a lot more of connections and maybe satisfaction also. And that's how I started volunteering for the Lean in Women in Tech India. It's a pan India community based in Bangalore. So we have a large network of people, around 5,000 women, And again, some of them are passive. But yes, I started volunteering during COVID, and it has been a very, very rewarding experience for me, I must say. So my thought behind volunteering and mentoring women is that, in the first 10 years of my career, I've always really wanted some mentor, someone who could really guide me well, and I missed a mentor probably for whatsoever reasons. I don't think we had that much of access back then. So right now, if I can be that mentor, be that, a guide to someone, at least a few women, that, I guess, nothing like it. That's, the biggest purpose of my life, is what I believe in, and that's how I've been involved. So I'm leading the Lean in Women in Tech India network now. So we run a lot of sessions, events, we run panel discussions, we run mentoring programs. We had like a leadership development facilitated program, which I ran for almost 5 months, for around 15 women. So there are a lot, and we have, like, some speaking and all such initiatives also. So we have, we take care of all aspects, not just the tech aspects. We also look into wellness and, the mental and physical wellness of people as well. So that has been a very, very rewarding experience for me. And now I'm expanding, yeah, last from since last year I'm a Women Techmakers Ambassador. And one thing about Women Techmakers, what I really liked is that, I was a panelist, a speaker in the IWD event this March. So the people who ran the event were very young girls who are also the WTM ambassadors. Their energy and enthusiasm was so infectious, so infectious. I it kind of, I would say, it kind of pushed me to do more. And that's when I thought of, like, yeah, probably I shouldn't stop just within India or within Bangalore. I should probably start thinking about contributing and interacting with people globally, which is, which will be like more rewarding. And, it's like trying to help more and more people across the globe, right? Somebody else knows better than me. It's always about the perspectives that we bring in, and those perspectives can be really valuable, and that can kind of, push people to think or act differently. That's what I believe in. So when it comes to technical also, there might be some aspects of a technical subject that somebody brings in, which I may not have thought about, because, the concepts are all out there. It's all about how we use it and how we implement it, how we look at it, right, how we tweak it. So somebody else might have tweaked it in a better way or in a different way, which I wouldn't have, not have thought about. So I don't think learning is only from your seniors. I believe that learning is from your juniors, your peers, your seniors, all alike. I mean, it's irrespective of age or, somebody's background, right? Every interaction is a learning, is what I take it as. So as I told, even though from the mentoring perspective, I guess there's a lot of reverse mentoring that happens also. The urge or the spirit to take on the world that the youngsters have, that is something which really pushes me. And I feel like, when they are doing so much with my experience, I should contribute more. I mean, that really inspires me and pushes me, and that keeps me really energized to do more. Having been in a leadership role, I guess I've still, managed to take on new things and explore new domains and new platforms and new languages also. So I normally, whenever I go to a new team, I obviously learn from my team. I get sessions by them. They teach me what is happening, how to do this, how to do that, because I would also do a little bit of hands-on before I can be more comfortable, right? So it is from the juniors, the ones in my team, who would be like teaching me what is what. And then probably, my experience helps me bring a different perspective there. But yes, I mean, I guess that being open to learn is the mindset which can probably help us grow. And growth is not necessarily just about titles or designations or money, is what my belief is. Growth is all about what you were yesterday and what you are today, and what you really want, where you want to see yourself tomorrow, right? And how you have improved, what extra, what different have you done, what are the new things that you tried, and what are the new things that you've
Absolutely. And
learned.
I
So
think
that is
for
growth
me,
as
this
per me.
stage is an
So
opportunity
I
to
guess that
invite
is
women who have
where I
perhaps
get
not
the
done a
inspiration
podcast
from.
before, because now the
Now,
next
if
time
you
they
ask
see
me,
it
even
and it
signing
might
up for
be a bigger stage,
this
they will say,
conversation,
oh, that's great.
I
And a
was
lot of
thinking
times,
probably this is not
things
something
like
which I've done
media,
before. So let me
which
give
includes
this a
public
try.
speaking
So
and
maybe I
publishing
would
and all of
enjoy it,
those
and
things,
that's
are
also a
their own
contribution. It
resume.
might help
So the
a
more
lot
you
of people.
do,
So
the
it's
more
like a
you're
win-win, right? I
invited
mean,
to do, the
I'm
more you have
improving
confidence to
myself,
do,
and
and
somebody
it
else is
grows
also
very organically,
gaining. They are
and it
benefiting,
builds momentum
getting
in
an
itself.
advantage from whatever I share. So I mean, that's how I take it. So always. I've been very active on LinkedIn. I put out posts, and I usually write about again my experiences. What I look at there also is like any discussion that I've had, or any event I attended, or any interaction that I had. Might be a small conversation that I've had with my team member, but there might be something different which struck me. That's what I write about. I don't write about like, I wouldn't say I write about themes, but I write in general about leadership, my learnings, and my takeaways, or sometimes gratitude posts and all that. So what I've seen is so once since we started again, this also goes back to the community. We wanted to resume our blogging in the community, so 7 of us came together and we did a 100 days challenge on LinkedIn, and that was like an absolute hit. So many people noticed that. And even now I see that everybody, any of my old colleagues or my friends who talk to me, the first statement that they say is that, like, your brand on LinkedIn is too good, and it's great, it's going really good. So I can feel the difference, that how many people are noticing it and how many people are getting inspired by it, right? So that's absolutely, a value that I'm adding. Initially, as you told, I was also very hesitant in writing posts, because I always used to feel it's all out there already. I mean, what is there extra that I can add? Probably there isn't much. So it would be a redundant or a repeat post kind of. So should I be really writing? But that push from the community, from the group, that energy from the group really helped. And now it's like there's no looking back. Now I look at opportunities, every opportunity, every interaction that I have is like, what can I probably write about, right? I wouldn't say I'm like very regular. Yeah, I still probably once a week or once in 2 weeks I do post, and it has really helped me build a brand. And I've had my previous skip level execs, my previous VP, who was really impressed by my whatever I'm doing. So she still engages with my posts and comments, and expresses her appreciation. So that is like a big high for me, I would say. One thing I feel is being consistent is key. So it's not for a specific goal, right? Like right now I'm not looking out for a actively for a job. So it shouldn't be my building a brand shouldn't be the uh, only it should only the purpose of building a brand should not just be looking for another job. The purpose of building a brand is, the key is the consistency. So as long as you're consistently putting out things and sharing things out there, I don't think anybody should have such a speculation about you whether you're looking out for a job. Yes, it may help you later on when you're looking out for a job, but that shouldn't be your end goal, right? Your end goal is building your brand. And one more thing, what I felt is that many people who write on LinkedIn, who have a great digital presence, not necessary that they follow it in their personal or professional lives, right? I mean, actually not online, the offline brand, your offline brand also matters. And only when your online and offline brand are syncing, both are aligned, that is when you have that reputation, your authenticity. And that's when everything comes together and people really feel that, okay, yeah, this person is genuine, and whatever she or he shares is also genuine. So as I told, I mostly write about my experiences. I felt that people relate more to experiences, and many people have actually convey that to me, saying that yes, we have felt in very many situations whatever you have written, the same thing we have felt, but probably we were not able to put it out there. You were able to share it. We feel so happy there are other people who feel similarly, and we are not in it alone, right? We are all in this together. There are many more people who share similar values, similar experiences, or similar emotions. So that is where I guess you can relate and connect with people. So that should be your end goal. I mean, your goal is to build a brand, and what you stand for, what are the values that you stand for, and what are the probably what are some of the actions that you are taking aligned with those values. That is basically a brand for me. And it shouldn't be just tied to one job. Our career is not just one job, right? It is a span. I mean, you work with multiple companies, multiple organizations for multiple domains or technologies with different set of people. So your job is not just your career, right? Your career is a very longer one. And your career can change, it can transition also. Maybe today I'm doing technology, tomorrow after some time I may not feel like doing it, I may want to do something else, I may want to explore something else, so totally different. So my brand can be open some doors for me for all these things, for all these different ideas or different sections or different things that I really want to explore, right? So that is where the difference comes in, is what I feel. If you take branding just as the as your next job opportunity, that's different. But when you are consistent and you're really genuine about what you want to share, and when you feel that you have something valuable to share which may also help people, that is where the genuinity or the authenticity of the brand comes in. And as long as you're authentic, I don't think in today's world people should be bothered about what you're putting out there, or are you really looking for a new job or not, right? So, and one thing is what I believe in is, um, put things on a positive light rather than a negative light. I don't write about anything negative so far. Yes, I do write about challenges, but I always highlight it or project it in a way as, what are the learnings for me from there. Maybe I've done things wrong, maybe I've also had failures, everybody has, right? So what is important is what we learn from the failures, rather than looking at the just the negative side that, yeah, I failed. Everybody fails, right? So we how we learn and grow out of that failure is what is more important. So putting it out positively always helps everyone. I don't think it kind of gives any negative connotation to anyone for that matter. So that kind of boosts your brand further. That's has been my experience, and that would be my advice to anyone who wants to try out things on digital branding or the online presence. Yeah, so as I told, we were coincidentally we were seven of us who started it. And so what we did was we chose one day a week, everyone, like, A would take Sunday, I had taken Monday. So like that, everybody had a day in the week, so that took off the pressure that we had to actually only post once a week, right? Not every day. So across the seven people, we did 100 days challenge. So, and we had this group created and we had this conversation. So what we used to do is, sometimes we were not tied to themes, we could actually post on anything that we resonated with. How we helped each other was, we used to suggest some themes to some people when they were like maybe out of ideas. All of us used to have, probably, and we used to look at some specific days, like we have the National Girl Child Day, or we had the Nobel Prize. During that time, the Nobel Prize winners were announced, so we wrote about some women Nobel Prize winners. So some things like that. No, we you always used to look for ideas based on specific days which are celebrated sometimes, or maybe specific things in sports, some news that came in. We wrote about India had actually Indian, a lot of women in Indian Space Research Organization. We had our Chandrayaan, the our moon satellite, satellite which went to the moon. So that had come out, so we wrote about that. So we always used to push each other and give ideas, so that the others are also feeling that, and we used to remind each other. So and it totally came out so well that once 100 days was over, we were like, we don't want to, probably we want to continue, we don't want to stop this kind of. Everybody was so engrossed and involved. And obviously 100 days means it was like almost like a 3 to 3.5 months time frame. Some of us had vacations in between, so we used to schedule posts. When we used to go on vacation, we used to schedule posts and go. We used to write in advance and schedule it in LinkedIn and go, so that we don't miss the day, and we're not missing out on that 100 day kind of. We're not breaking that 100 day. So it all came out so well. And that community, the strength of those seven people is also, the group is so powerful and so inspiring and so supportive of each other. We are all so comfortable with each other. So other than the brand part, is that we really got friends for life, I would say. People are like really really connected with each other and ready to support, and we can have open conversations. People help, I know, give some suggestions. So we all have been in this together. It came out really well. So that's what the end outcome was, I guess, much more than branding. We got a lot of personal connects as well, so which we are really happy about. I guess that again, the power of that community comes out in beautiful ways.
Absolutely. I love that. Now, were you all posting on your individual accounts or were you on a group account? Like, what was the, like, how did,
No,
what was
we
the,
were posting on our individual accounts, but we had a network page for the community as well. So that used to be reposted by the community, and we had we had all the posts, kind of stashed in somewhere on a sheet. We used to have all the links together so that we can do that. And the 100th day post was what we did was all seven of us, our probably our motto or mantra in life, all that was compiled, and somebody wrote really beautifully about all the seven of us, how we came together, that whole journey. So that came out really well. So we had specific hashtags for the 100 days challenge. So all of us used to follow that, and all of us used to tag each other. All the seven of us used to be tagged in all the posts. And yeah, and obviously we used to tell each other that even if nobody else likes your post, we seven likes are, and comments would definitely be there. So you need not be discouraged. It's not about just the number of likes or comments that you get. It's all about you inculcating that habit and doing it in a better way. And as I told, right, whenever I got the biggest engagement for my posts is when I wrote about my experiences. How, like, be that anywhere, like, be that an event, be that something about something I learned from a specific session. So whenever I wrote about my experiences, there was huge amount of engagement, and that kind of amazed me. I never thought that people would value my experiences so much, probably. I mean, that was a misconception, or I was not sure about that. I always was doubting that, but then I realized that the power of our experiences, the and what we kind of tell people, that is really good, and people do relate and connect to those experiences. And I guess other than authenticity and consistency, your passion also matters, right? I'm passionate about enabling other women, especially in technology. So that has been somewhere or the other reflecting in my posts, is what I believe. In some of the posts have also been about other learnings. I would not say so, but then most majority of my posts have been about how I've been enabling people, or how I have been enabled by by my mentors or coaches. So that those stories are the ones which resonated the most with people.
yeah, I love that. I think that's where I'm transitioning back to wanting to tell more stories. I have my podcast, but now I'm kind of coming back to social media and finding ways that I can share all these things that I see and I'm so excited about. And I almost sometimes feel like my cup runneth over. I have, and yet I'm an opportunity hunter. I see so many things that I want to share with others, like about possibility, because I think sometimes people, if they're not in formal education, sort of sometimes don't know where to start, or if their company is not giving them real clear paths, it to know that, like, hey, if you go to Cisco Networking Academy, it's free. IBM, it's free. Google, Microsoft, AWS, they have all of these amazing free learning paths. And there's low cost ones. There's different ones that do have fees. I'm thinking of ones like Hack the Box and Try Hack Me and other ways, and you can learn. There is so much on YouTube. I use the premium so I don't get the ads, and that to me is kind of worth it because I get so many training courses through there. In the US with library cards, you can get LinkedIn Learning, you can get O'Reilly Media. Like, there's just so much out there. It just finding that starting point and then understanding that if you are interested in this and you kind of follow the path, just trust the process. The community will start finding you, the opportunities will start finding you, things will start showing up that you never even thought possible.
Absolutely, I must say that. And last year I did a keynote for a specific organization called Bug Detective. They had their test fest in Nigeria. So again, it was an online one. So it came to me from a fellow WTM ambassador through LinkedIn. And she knew from my post of what I'm working on, and that's why she reached out to me for the keynote. So that was one thing, and another thing was that within my organization itself, there are multiple multiple execs, right, multiple VPs and product lines. So mine was a role which cuts across multiple product lines. So but I didn't have like so much of interaction with some of the VPs. So one of the VPs was traveling from US to India, and I had to host him for a session. I went and introduced myself. He was like, I know you, I mean, your LinkedIn posts, I do read your LinkedIn posts, and that's a great skill to have. I was like, it was out of the world moment for me. I never thought that he would know me because so well, because I've not been interacting with him so much. So I guess that is something which I kind of never imagined that it would happen so much. So many things like that, right? Even from my alma mater, the college that I did my engineering from, um, they also reached out and they told, like, probably I can give a session to the current students. So lot of opportunities which came, which I never thought would happen that way, and that shows the influence that it has, and it's much beyond our imagination or our anticipation, is what I have seen.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is just to me to sort of raise your hand and just begin, even if you
Yes.
don't see where it's going to go, you don't know what's around the corner.
Yeah.
I've seen it myself. Just I had no idea where I started to where I am now. I just handed in this final project, and it was so exciting for me to realize how far I've come in my learning. I'm studying GIS, like so geographic information sciences, and learning how to
Hmm.
make maps. And I've cried in the early days of learning how to use this software, and I'm not the only one. and and yet now to be able to follow instructions on things that I've never done before, but still be able to do them with ease and not fall down those deep tech holes that I was falling down, and that I can bring sort of a joy and a calmness to the process. And whereas before I was excited about it, but there was also this panic because I would just start and then just get so stuck because all of it was so new to me. So to just kind of have trust in yourself as you're beginning, whether you do it through sort of formal channels or informal channels. I think it's a little harder through informal channels because as a student, I can say like having those deadlines, having that structure definitely is helpful. But if you are motivated, and this is actually the power of community, finding those associations who can cheer you on if you don't have those formal structures, because all the learning paths are there. They're really at
Yeah.
this point between YouTube and all of these other resources. There really isn't anything out there that you can't, learn if you just put your attention on it.
Yes, taking that first step is very, very important. Unless you do that, then you will be very hesitant, and once you're in it, you will somehow manage. And once and you have people to cheer you on, you will definitely be able to kind of push through it and complete it, is also what I've seen. Yeah, with similar ones, the cloud and cybersecurity, the pathways that are there, I guess that's common to everyone across the globe. So that has been there. And I guess recently I saw something about the robotics and the Arduino related. Also, there were some initiatives, some of the accesses that we got, which was very interesting ones. I guess probably that is more from a teenage or the school goers perspective, right? People can reach out, and people can actually benefit from that. And we have another WDA and a program coming up, which is again a tailor-made kind of a training for the ambassadors, which will help them boost their presentation and speaking skills, so that they can reach out to a larger audience. So I guess such and we recently attended the Google IO. It was here in Bangalore, so that was also very interesting. Yeah, we had a networking mixer the previous night, and the IO, I mean, I guess all the tracks, there was so much of information. It was, I would say, it was information overload. We were like, we just want to be there everywhere at the same time, which is not possible. So it's like, the opportunities that as a Women Techmakers Ambassador that we get is like really, I feel unfathomable. I never thought that it would be so much, because I've been a part of member of Women Techmakers from quite some time, but I wasn't sure. I just kind of tried, okay, yeah, I mean, I'm doing some of the mentorship and speaking engagements, so let me give a try. If I can also become an ambassador, that may help me. But that has really helped me. I guess the global reach of the ambassadors is something which is really helpful. The kind of exposure that you get. The fact that I'm talking to you now is wouldn't have been possible, if both of us were not a WTM ambassador, right? So that is the kind of reach that it gives. And I guess it's amazing. I'm really happy for the youngsters out there, because they are getting all these opportunities early on in life. They didn't have to wait till probably so much as I had to wait from, right? So they are getting a lot of such opportunities, and that's good. And I see that there are a lot of GDG groups in many of the colleges. In the IO Connect also, we had some of the WTM ambassadors who were a part of the GDG groups also from college, and they are right now doing so well, doing so many events and speaking, speaking about, be that Flutter, React, or any of the technology that is there coming up. So I see a lot of potential in the youngsters, and that potential is being groomed so well and is being exposed so well because of the WTM journey. And that's like it's such a wonderful platform for anyone to have, to boost their skills and to get inspired and to do more things and to take on more things. So I'm really happy about whatever is happening, and yeah, looking forward to more, whatever is in the plan for further, the rest of the year.
Oh, it's exciting, and I love the fact that we have the campaigns. And of course, I'm coming into October is going to be Cybersecurity Awareness Month, so I'm really excited about getting activated for that and creating a lot of content into that. And we have an election here in the United States, and
Oh
so
yeah, November.
that's kind of got a lot of people on both sides, kind of cheering for their candidate. But I think for me, seeing a woman in that role of power and voice and passion and joy has really connected for me. And so she is someone that I am rooting for. And I think that she just represents so many of us see ourselves in her, especially the women, the minorities in the United States who are oftentimes kind of in this weird sort of second class. And there's a huge kind of immigrant community here. So, I mean, I'm a first generation American. My parents are from England. And so I just see so much of that hope, that dream, that possibility, that future, that energy is really a groundswell. And when it was 2008, I had really gotten very excited about Barack Obama, and I went to his inauguration. And so the political advocate and activist in me is all getting very excited for fall, because we're gonna be busy campaigning. And and I think that there's a place for women, and I think that a lot of good things are happening in helping women just be more visible, having more opportunities, having more flexibility. And I just think, like I said, retransforming the workplace related to women has been important, because in your role as a parent and family and professional, we do need evolving workplaces. And I'll be curious, kind of internationally, to get your perspective on this.
Oh,
One of the things.
definitely. I guess, as women, we definitely need more and more role models to look up to. And Kamala, is definitely one, from the background that she has, and to reach the position that she is in, and to contest for the most prime position in America. And it's like, it's not a easy feat at all. And I'm sure she would have a lot of sweat and effort behind that, and that kind of will definitely inspire many more women to take on such roles, is what even I believe. um I guess, we all need in different sectors, like, in politics it might be someone like Kamala, and probably I guess Michelle was also a very good person, to really someone very inspiring to look up to, There were, I guess, there was some doing some rounds that maybe she would also come in, when Biden was kind of, backing off, right? So I guess, as women, irrespective of, which race or background or your all those maybe you, if it's you're like, Asian or American or European, doesn't matter, or African, doesn't matter. We really need women who are up there, who can, tell us their stories, share the stories of, grit and determination, which can actually fuel or spark our ambitions further, right? So right now, otherwise, many of the other women, at least within the smaller circles, they'll be told, that's, it's okay not to be so ambitious, your family is important, or something else is important at this point of time. So but irrespective of all that, to come out of all those conditioning and thought process, and to achieve something really big, that you need a lot of motivation for that, and you need to hear more and more stories from women who are in those positions. So if you take ask me from India's perspective, earlier we had a very strong, powerful prime minister called Indira Gandhi. It was quite in 80s, 1980s. She used to be really powerful, so there was someone to look up to. And right now, I guess, if you ask me, many of the Indian women right now, we have a female president right now, and we also have many scientists and many other reputed personalities who are leading multiple say, like our finance minister is a woman. Finance, and finance is such a powerful ministry, and it comes with a lot of responsibility. So there are definitely women to look up to. But yes, it is very as important that they share those stories, they share their path, or how they navigated and how they kind of fought against all those odds, and came up. So that's very, very important. And I guess we have made progress when it comes to women taking on higher positions, but probably we need to make more progress. We are not yet there, and we need to put in more effort and put in more hard work, and make women more and more ambitious, so that they can climb up the ladder and sit in the highest positions, and do more for many more women to come. One more thing I wanted to tell you here is that regarding the Paris Olympics, I guess this first Olympics where it was
Hmm.
like equal participation from men and women. That came as a very interesting thought, and very, very happy to hear that it is like women are also coming forward in same amounts or same, and people are able to do those that practice and the efforts, and they're able to qualify for the Olympics also, right? That matters a lot. Probably earlier we didn't have these many women doing all that. So I guess now we do have a lot of people to from whom we can draw some inspiration from, and we would definitely want more and more of those. And I hope
Yeah.
you and I also be inspiring to so many some of the young women out there who really want to do different things, who want to try out and explore and go all out, and do whatever really they want, right? They want that matters
Yes.
a lot.
And I was going to say one thing just in terms of women and having that appropriate amount of flexibility, because we wear so many hats in life, and the mother role is sometimes just has a lot more of an administrative function than the father role. And I feel like sometimes, one of the things that I feel like needs to be normalized, and I'd love to get your opinion on sort of what you see sort of from the Indian perspective, but in America, what's not normalized is a father leaving the office to take their kid to the doctor. That's
Hmm.
always the woman. That's always the woman. And so it's making it so that the corporate culture is not just flexible for women, but flexible for men.
Yeah, so a couple of perspectives that I have here is that, yes, I mean, I guess we all have from, it has been set from a patriarchal perspective that the gender roles are set, and the father is supposed to be the breadwinner, the mother is supposed to be the caregiver, kind of, right? So, but those lines are blurring now, and at least in the in the upcoming generations, I see that people are more and more involved. At least men are also equally involved. But having said that, I guess, bearing a child and giving birth is something only a woman can do, right? So women need that extra flexibility. And I guess it's what is more needed is that empathy from their leaders, so that especially your immediate leader should will have a lot of say in what a woman gets, what kind of flexibility a woman gets, right? So and that kind of awareness, and when one leader does that, says that, and does that, I guess it'll probably prompt more leaders to do that. So it and women are, kind of hiring women shouldn't be just for the diversity perspective. It should be for their merit and capabilities, and you should do things that to support them so that they can thrive in such an environment. That is very, very important. But having said that, one more thing what I want to bring up here is that women, by default we are nurturers. We tend to care more, right? So I women by default are nurturers, and we have that skill or that empathy that is there in us, with this, like, god given, and which we don't need to probably put much effort into, whereas men, I guess, are not like that. So we need to understand that difference, and have some more efforts in sensitizing, and making men more aware, probably educating them of all those things. So as much as the power of communities works, I guess we having male allies also is very, very important, and that men understand what are those hardships that are there, and they're really once they understand those hardships and are ready to support women, that is when, I guess, we can have a more, we can march towards a more equal world. Because and it's not about, when I say equal, it's not about, like, everyone has to do everything, or everyone has to do everything in the same way. So some days it might be like, probably like, for example, I can take my case. My husband has a traveling job, so when he travels, obviously I am the primary caregiver or nurturer. Everything needs to be taken care of by me. So right now he is out of town, so I need to take care of everything. But the similar way, when I have had to travel for conferences, when I've had to take off and go officially, and my husband has also been equally responsible. He ensures that we have that communication channel, and we ensure that we plan it in such a way that he'll definitely be here when I have to travel, and he'll take care of everything. So, and what works for us right now is that I take care of the most of the home stuff. I run the house, but my husband takes care of all my son's education and his extracurricular activities. So we have a clear division of labor, if you may ask me. I wouldn't say that it came very easy. We had to discuss it multiple times, and go over and over it again to kind of get it fine tuned. And having said that, even now when my husband is traveling, obviously I take the bigger load, and when I'm traveling he takes it, right? So I guess it may not be equal on every day, but as long as you feel that that support is there, and the other person is, your partner is also equally involved, that makes all the difference. I guess that makes everything a little bit smoother, easier, and less stressful. So that is something which I guess men need to come to terms with. And then probably in the at the workplace also, right? People shouldn't be biasing about it, or having comments about a man taking off to take care of a child, or take a sick child to a doctor. I don't think those judgments and those assumptions that need to be kind of broken, or that need to be rewired, so that people are more accepting of any role anybody has to take, irrespective of their gender. Because I guess as a parent, it's equal responsibility for a mother and a father. Except for child bearing and giving birth, right? That obviously a father cannot do. It's only with a woman. But rest of it, raising a child, whether be it their finances, or be it their education, or their co-curricular activities, I guess it's a common ground, and it's like a equal responsibility for both the parents. That I guess women also need to kind of voice out their concerns, and tell their partners or your parents, whoever you need support from, that we need that support, and without that we cannot go ahead, or grow in our career. So that is very, very important. Even with me, what I saw is that initially I was not very vocal about my concerns. So that led to a lot of stress. But when I started speaking about it to my husband, he was like, probably he was not so aware of it, or he was not very conscious of it, that things are happening and I'm getting burnt out because of this. But once I put it out and said that, yeah, this is what the support I need, I was very, very clear on what support I needed, then he also was more understanding about it, and he was ready to take on those extra responsibilities and do whatever is needed. So I guess that's very, very important, at least in a marriage kind of a relationship. When when you have a partner, it's very, very important. Or maybe it is your parents, if they are around, they can help you. It might be your parents. Yeah, worst case, I guess, at least in India, we have options of domestic child care. We can Child care is a little bit more affordable than US in India, so we could. And in the initial days when I had my son, when till he was around 4 or 5, till he started going to a full day school, I also had enough, sufficient people, a nanny who was like kind of a full time nanny who helped me. So I've always tried to kind of seek that support, so that I don't get burnt out and I can still go for things that I needed. Having said that, I definitely took a conscious choice of slowing down my career. I didn't take a break, but I did take a pause, or I took it slow when my son was a child, because mainly because I felt that his childhood will never come back, and I may not be able to enjoy those days again. I can always go and take on my career in a more aggressive way later also. And I guess that's what I'm doing right now, because he's more independent. He doesn't need me so much as he needed me earlier. So I guess those are conscious choices and decisions that women also should make based on their priorities and their aspirations. It may not work for everyone. Someone else would still want to go aggressive, so then they may need more support. They should seek that support and go ahead. That's what works. I mean, it works differently for different people.
So,
And I guess this whole concept of being a superwoman is very very misleading. I don't think anyone can be a superwoman, and we need not be superwoman. Being ordinary women, how can we do extraordinary things is what is important. That's what my take on it is. Because whenever someone tells me, oh, you're a superwoman, you're doing so many things, I think, no, I brutally prioritize. I know what is it what that I want to do. So then when I want to do more things out there for the community or for my speaking engagements, I may cook less at home, or I may cook for a week and keep and then reuse whatever is there. So I find ways so that I trade time, and I make time for whatever is more important. So I brutally prioritize. Otherwise, I don't think it would have been possible for me to go ahead and publish my book, and when while being full time working and having a son and all that. So I don't think it's possible, and I don't think we need to be superwoman. That concept is very, very misleading, and that kind of puts a lot of pressure on many younger women to do everything on their own, to and then get stressed out and get affected mentally or physically, right? I've also probably gone through a part of it, and I guess I've learned it the hard way. Now I don't strive to be a superwoman. I'm pretty content and happy with whatever I am, but I try to do things which I really love, and I ensure that I make time for that. That is what is more important, I guess. I don't think we need superwomen or wonder women out here. So my mantra for life, or my motto, has always been, explore, believe, and achieve. So explore, when I say it can be anything, personally or professionally. Take those calculated risks. Do not postpone things too much. I know my biggest thing about exploring is that I don't want to regret. Right now, when I look back, there are many things which I felt that maybe I should have done at that point of time earlier in life, which I couldn't do, or which I didn't do for whatsoever reason. So I don't want to have any regrets in life. So explore as much as you can, whatever you want to do, whatever you love to do. And sometimes when you do all those things is when you really understand what you really love to do, right? Sometimes right now you may not have the clarity of what you want to do, but once you explore and start doing things, then you realize that, okay, yeah, this is something which I really enjoy doing, maybe I should do more of these. And then believe in yourself, have that belief that you can make it. you can overcome whatever challenges that come your way, and in some way or the other seek support, and so that you can equip yourself to kind of make it and achieve. So obviously, like, I guess once the belief is there, you can achieve anything is what my take is. So always try to achieve more than what you were yesterday. Whatever your version was yesterday, your today's version of you should be a better version, probably a newer version, doing new things, learning new things, and thereby growing. So that is what I live by. And I always believe in this saying. I'm not sure who exactly said that. You've not come this far just to come this far. So that should kind of propel you to do more things and push yourself further, and do more and more, and achieve more and more, and tread a path which probably maybe some nobody has taken ever.